humans? Cubic here, and welcome to This Month in EDM. The month is July, and this is a brand new series I'm starting to keep you guys up to date with everything happening in the EDM scene each and every month. Each month, I'll be covering the most relevant news inside our industry that I think you might want to know about, as well as my favorite releases of each month and a bunch of music that I think is worth checking out that you may or may not have missed. So, with that being said, I am super proud to jump into the month of July. Let's see what happened. So in this month's news, first we go to Ukraine, where this month, last Friday, the LGBTQ community in Ukraine hosted a rave right outside the president's office in order to protest discriminatory anti-LGBTQ laws and legislation being passed. So in my opinion, it's cool to see ravers coming together through music and community to try to make a difference. Way to go, Ukraine. Another cool thing that happened this month for EDM as well as music in general was we saw Hulu hopping on the festival livestream bandwagon by partnering up with this year's Lollapalooza festival to host a live stream for Hulu subscribers. In my opinion, this kind of opens up a new avenue beyond YouTube and Twitch for festival live streams to become normalized and monetized to a larger audience. It's exciting to see how this could grow beyond just Lollapalooza and how this could benefit the electronic music scene moving forward as a whole. I mean, imagine seeing Ultra streams, Lost Land streams on Hulu and Netflix. That could be crazy, and it could be yet another avenue for the artist to make some revenue. In more festival news, we've got the 2021 Lost Lands Festival lineup announcement this month, featuring a heap of bass music artists, which if you missed, you can check out my lineup breakdown that I dropped on my channel about a week or two ago. It should be linked either somewhere in the description or up in the corners of this video. But yeah, pretty stacked lineup, definitely worth checking out, especially if you're going to Lost Lands. Should get you pretty hyped. And as we all know, Lost Lands was created and is run by none other than Excision, the dubstep Don, who has also recently confirmed he will be releasing a new album in 2021. He confirmed this by showing off a brand new ID by the name of Decimate, which will be dropping on his album. Exciting stuff. Let's check out the ID. I'm fucking ready. Oh my god. God damn, those growls are insane. That's definitely going to be a festival banger. That could be the stand-in throwing elbows per se of this upcoming album. We shall see. So we have more new albums coming out this year. As it turns out, Ellie Goulding will be re-entering the EDM scene in her upcoming album, which she has confirmed will be a return to her EDM roots, which as a lover of her collabs with Skrillex, Seven Lions, Calvin Harris, and I'm sure there's more out there, plus her songs like Lights, which were kind of EDM. I am definitely excited to hear what she has in store. Let me know down in the comments, were you a fan of Ellie Goulding back in the day, and are you going to be checking out this album? I know I will. Maybe I'll review it. Who knows? Speaking of returning to EDM roots, Swedish House Mafia is back. They've returned with a brand new single called It Gets Better, which it does get better because they're going to continue releasing new music. If you haven't heard It Gets Better yet, definitely go check it out. It's a banger. It reminds me a lot of Dog Blood for some reason. It's a bit different than what you're used to from Swedish House Mafia, but it's pretty fucking polished, and it's a really interesting return from what we assumed was them all breaking up forever. So yeah, great news. We got Swedish House Mafia back. All of the throwbacks have been happening this month. By the way, Swedish House Mafia has actually returned just in time for this year's DJ Mag Top 100 DJs vote. Now, too bad the list is all rigged and it doesn't really matter, but I'm sure Swedish House Mafia has the money and time to campaign for votes and get themselves up the list. So I guess we shall see if you give a shit about the DJ Mag Top 100 DJs. DJs who make it on the list do get paid a lot better for gigs and do get more opportunities based on this dumbass list. So Go help out your favorite DJ. In more EDM news, we have RL Grime and Bauer recently announcing a brand new collaborative alias called Herney or Herney. It's spelled a little weird, so I don't completely know how to pronounce it, but basically they've announced it with a brand new release together called Fallaway. And I guess the whole idea behind this new alias is that Herney is a truck that sparks to life and turns against its makers, RL Grime and Bauer, and now they have to fight for their life against this killer truck. A bit of an odd story, but the branding is really interesting, and I think it's fun to see artists putting this much effort into a new project. You should go check out their website if you want to understand a bit more what I'm talking about. They put a decent amount of work behind this launch, and they're building up some lore and some cool imagery behind the killer truck idea. So yeah, it's pretty fun, worth checking out. The link will be down in the description for the website. Following this new collaboration, we have a brand new Skrillex ID, and it's a collaboration between none other than Louis the Child. If you're a fan of Louis the Child, this is probably great news for you. If you're a fan of Skrillex, which who isn't, then hey, new Skrillex ID. Let's go ahead and check out this clip of Skrillex and Louis the Child. Let me know in the comments if you're vibing with it.
This is something we've never played before. And we made this one with Skrillex.
A lot more chill than we're used to from Skrillex. Ooh, that call and response. There's a lot of house coming up on this new Skrillex album, it sounds like. Now, before we get into this month's best releases, I have to drop some shitty industry news on you. This is for the music nerds out there, the producers who want to know what's going on with your paycheck. After a year of artists being stuck in quarantine with no means to play live shows and go on tour, which is most artists' main source of income and revenue, attention has shifted to streaming revenue. Spotify, being the biggest streaming platform, recently had a report released showing that only 13,400 artists, basically only 0.2% of the platform, have made more than $50,000 from streaming on Spotify. Within that, a little over half of those artists have made more than $100,000, and within those artists, only 870 of them have reached the $1 million threshold. What's especially crazy about that is that those 13,400 artists, that 0.2% of the entire Spotify platform, have generated an estimated $1.5 billion for Spotify. And that's just, like I said, 0.2% of the platform. Artists on Spotify have generated tens of billions of dollars for Spotify over the years. So it's kind of crazy to see how little of that comes back around to the artists, especially based on the fact that they're generating that much money. It's really sad to think only that small of a percentage of artists have made 1 year of an average middle class salary in America. So that pretty much wraps up this month's relevant topical news. The links for all these news stories will be down in the description if you want to go more in depth into any of the stories I talked about. But now let's move on to some of the best music that was released in July, as well as some music you may have missed. So July was an eventful month for EDM, featuring tons of phenomenal releases. I'm going to start this section of the video out by laying out some releases you may have missed this month that I believe are worth checking out. Now, just keep in mind, I exist more in the bass music spectrum of EDM. So if you're checking out this video and your main genre is like tech house, for instance, you're not going to find a lot of recommendations you'd enjoy in this list. But hey, it's always good to keep an open mind. And if you are coming from a completely different genre than I'm recommending, feel free to join my Discord server or comment in the comments down below. I'm always open for new music to be recommended, sent my way. And all the music that gets sent in my Discord server, I will be factoring in to every single This Month in EDM video moving forward. So let's start out with the biggest, most important release this month. Riot 10 dropped an album. Now I'm mostly joking. Personally, I'm not a fan of Riot 10 at all, but I just thought maybe you might want to know that now there is a Hyper Die album that exists out there in case you want to destroy your ears checking it out. But hey, Riot 10 might be your thing. I'm not judging. Just personally, I'm not a fan. On to the more serious recommendations, we start out with a release that actually took me by surprise. I don't know how I didn't know or expect this to come, but a new Tasoki album was released on Monstercat titled 01953, which is the area code of the town he grew up in the UK. I've been a huge fan of Tasoki since around 2015, and he still managed to blow away expectations with this album. He really pays homage to his UK roots, with the majority of the songs playing into some extremely polished garage, grime, and old school dubstep influences. My favorite songs on the album would have to be Come Down and Sensitive, but honestly, the whole album is mint, so I highly recommend giving it a listen. All right, this next one is another one that I just stumbled upon and I was so fucking surprised. Basically, it's a new album from the New York-based deep dub producer who goes by Essex. You may or may not have heard of them, but they make some wonky shit. This album is titled The Villain's Journey, and boy is it truly a journey. The LP is basically a mythical story that follows a lion-hearted voyager through a post-apocalyptic New York City, and honestly, every song on there is a banger in its own way. Quick little fun fact before we move on, Essex does all of the illustrations for his artwork, which is something to definitely be appreciated. So next we've got a homie of mine, YouTube music reviewer Primal Rights, leveling up his production with a beautiful new conceptual EP called Crimson. It's a magical new evolution of his sound, and it's laid out as a beautiful little future rhythm journey to go through. It's definitely my favorite work from him so far, and if you're in the mood for some underground talent, definitely go check it out. All right, so next we have a song that I actually found right before recording this video that actually blew me away. It's the new solo release by Ray Volpe called Never Be Alone. It's quite the feelsy banger with huge hyperpop influences throughout. I've been saying a lot over the past year that Ray Volpe really needs to start dabbling more in hyperpop because I feel like it really complements his sound and style, and you can kind of hear that in this song. I honestly haven't really been too into Ray Volpe lately, but this one, like I said, blew me away. All right, next we've got some truly underground talent, an artist by the name of Safi. Safi reached out to me asking me to review their new EP, and though I had to pass on reviewing it, I definitely wanted to add this in here because it's some fun, polished future rhythm coming from a pretty underground producer. Their EP is called Iridescence, and honestly, not every tune hits for me personally, but I will say their collab on the EP called Cryosta, the one playing in the background, is a vibe and a half. Definitely go give them a listen, repost their track if you like it. Like I said, super underground producer, like 200 or 300 followers on SoundCloud, I believe. So go support that underground sound. All right, now here's one for the non-bass heads. 1788L, well, kind of non-bass heads. 1788L has been releasing a string of French house inspired tracks over the past few months, and this month they released a tune called High Tech that seems to be inspired by none other than the classic group we all know called Justice. Definitely a bang, and good to see 1788L is still pumping away at that mid-tempo. Next, we've got some more underground releases you most likely missed. First, we've got an artist I only recently found called Wink with their huge new festival anthem called Data Stream. Shit's huge and insane and a free download, so definitely toss this into your sets, DJs. It's bound to shake the ground. Also, I must add, they released a song right before Data Stream that's this beautiful future rhythm tune that's worth checking out as well. I don't remember if that happened this month or not, so I didn't include it. We also have a bit of self-promo to throw in here. On Full Flex Audio, the new Damnazy EP has just released. Not quite a July thing, but my official remix of Hollow Girl was included as a free download on the EP, and that was technically released in July, so fuck it. You can find my review of the Damnazy EP on my channel, as well as the link to my remix and the other songs I've recommended in the description below. Moving on to some heavy hitters you know and love but may have missed this month, we've got OK, Flux Pavilion, and Elohim all coming together for an uplifting single called Be OK that kind of reflects on the past year of COVID. It's a track that's pretty par for the course for OK in my opinion, but it's so polished and easy to groove to, especially with Elohim's vocals and Flux Pavilion's swagger. So definitely check it out if you want to feel good, vibey ass track. And then finally, to wrap up the music you may have missed, we've got the greatest of all time, the one and only Rusko, dropping an AB of not dubstep but drum and bass. And boy, is it some fun jump up drum and bass. Both tracks bang and are quite the upgrade from his last EP in my opinion. Rusko slays at D&B, so I hope to see some more of that from him in the future. Go check that shit out. All right. We have arrived at the final section of my new series. We're gonna go over what I thought were the best releases of the month. Let's find out. So in no particular order, we're gonna start out with the Computer Love EP by Barely Alive. Now, if you're familiar with Barely Alive over the past few years, you'll know they've been pushing their signature hybrid of synth pop and Brittum / tear out, I guess, pretty hard. Some of it has been really fun and unique, but recently, personally, I've found that their formula's gotten a bit stale. I've actually been complaining about them a decent amount over the past year with people on my Discord server, and I almost didn't listen to this EP, but due to my buddy Jote's recommendation, he made a beautiful review of it, I checked it out, and boy, was it a nice surprise. Almost every song has its own little world and variety, though some songs clip a bit too much, in my opinion, and they still play into their classic synth pop / Brittum formula. These songs felt like they had a bit more soul and felt like more of an extension of their Odyssey album, which I loved. And I gotta say, my favorite song on the EP was their collab with Niptane and XO Eliza called Electric Lady, but there's something in there for everything. Let's take a listen to Electric Lady real quick. There's that beautiful synth pop. Definitely a festival anthem. Guitar, man, I love it. That guitar is flawless. Love the call and response there. Next banger of the month, we have a huge collab between Subtronics and Sullivan King. I haven't been the biggest fan of either artist over the past year, but I've got to say, this release is undeniably huge. You can't help but get hyped up and ready to break a rail when you hear this one. Both the intro and the first drop are what especially stand out to me. This track was built for the festival season, no doubt. Oh my god, what a fucking build. Okay, so fucking long of a build, Jesus Christ. Little tease there. Oh my god. Those fucking big ass Subtronics growls. Whoa, 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 boom. Ah, fucking huge, dude. All right, this next one, honestly, I wouldn't have originally thought to include in here, but after this artist came on stream while I was reviewing it and provided a bunch of amazing insight into each track, I fell in love with this release and just had to include it. I am, of course, talking about the debut Never Say Die EP from an artist by the name of Euphorian. What is my cat doing? What the fuck? Basically, this whole EP... What the fuck? Basically, this whole EP is a glitchy Voltra and more Kismet-esque wonderland full of emotion and meaning. This EP kind of stirred up the scene a bit and was quite the breakout release for Euphorian, leaving us all wanting to know what sort of crazy ideas they're going to come out with next. The EP has quite a lot of range on it, including a collab with Great Milk and Skybreak, two fucking mint artists. I'd have to say my favorite on the EP was Magic. The final track, basically, it was an ode to all of their friends who've supported them over the years to help them get to the state of mind and state of their career that they're in now, and how their help and support has been magic. The second drop in particular is phenomenal. Let's check it out. There's this nice house bridge. By the way, all the builds in this EP are crazy. I don't even know how to dance to this. This is fucking insane. Crazy shit. In more experimental future rhythm news, we had the return of Ulasile, the founder of Halcyon, the record label, with a future rhythm A-B release consisting of the A-side track Ice and the B-side track Micro Harmony. Both provided that beautiful, otherworldly future rhythm experimentation we got from Ulasile on his Perceiver LP, but personally, my favorite was Ice for its melodicity and catchy intro, although the wild call and response phrases in Micro Harmony were pretty sick. These fucking drums, what the... And I love the play on ice, like I'll disappear like ice. And it's got a cool dissonance to it. Classic Ulasile. All right, now we come to my personal favorite of the month, Eli Derp's Azimuth EP released on Halcyon. Quite the debut on Halcyon and quite the upgrade to his career that one brought on. I don't have much to say about this one because I actually did a group review of it with my friends Basic and Nerve, which you should check out on my channel to hear my thoughts and see our experience hearing it for the first time. It was quite the amazing body of work and we had a lot of fun putting together this group review, so go check it out. It's in the description or should be popping up on the screen somewhere. Okay, and this brings us to the final two releases to go over this month. One being the Dr. Lobster EP titled Brain Rot, and that was released on Funkcase's label DPMO aka Don't Piss Me Off. This one had quite the variety of heavy dubstep from tear out to Brittum to some wonky shit I don't even know what to call. This one landed on my favorites list because we got to see more jazz infused dubstep from Dr. Lobster, which is what they excel at, as well as some fresh new takes on the tear out formula. My favorites on this release were Listen and Brain Rot for their uniqueness and their flow. Let's go listen to Listen.
MC's alive and then dying.
God damn, Dr. Lobster going off like no other crustacean. And final favorite, we've got a much requested release from my Discord mod, Duncan, huge Grizz stan. Basically this month, Grizz randomly dropped a 23-track album where each song perfectly transitions into the next song, basically creating a giant mix, just taking us through Grizz's uplifting, psychedelic, stoner world. And honestly, how can you not fall in love with that? I honestly can't pick a favorite on this one because there's just so much variety. It's really hard to choose, but some standout songs for me would have to be Another World and Feel It All, which you can find both in my brand new Best Bass Music 2021 playlist on Spotify. Link down in the description. It'll be updated every single week with what I think are some of the best songs in bass music released this year, spanning from drum and bass to dubstep to rhythm, future rhythm, trap, hybrid trap, anything that fits in my definition of bass music, you're gonna get on that playlist. Check it out down below and go fucking stream the Grizz album. It's an experience. Just go to the gym, work out for the entire album. You won't regret it. And this concludes the July edition of This Month in EDM. I hope you guys are enjoying this new series. Please let me know down in the comments what you thought of the first episode, what I can improve on, what you might want to see from me in the future, and also let me know if you hated this and you never want me to do one of these ever again. I had fun making this, writing a fun script, trying to be a journalist of some sort. It's my first time. I'm still figuring out this whole setup and the best way to format this, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, my name is Qbik. You can find all the info that I went through today down in the description, as well as my own. Please drop a like on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe, and fucking have a great rest of your day, most importantly. Bye, humans.